I'm Fiera Luna, and I play games on the internet. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by, and if you've been here before, welcome back. Today we're playing the Case of the Serialized Killer. I have never played this game before. There is one thing that I have been warned about, but it probably won't get to it tonight, probably. We'll see. Anyway, it's mostly just me getting to voice a panic attack, which I'm very excited for. Anyway, welcome in, everybody. Hi, Val. Hi, Kat. Hi, Maxwell. Hi, Tal. Hello, everyone. We're gonna go on an adventure. We're gonna adventure. I've already set most of my preferences. So we should be alright. I've never played this game, so it's gonna be an adventure. The doors were all locked, and the windows barred. The afternoon sun barely managed to leak into the dusty mansion. But when the visitor knocked, the sharp sound resounded through the halls. Somewhere, inaudible over the knocking, a pitiful voice let out a groan, and called out into the hallway. Clumsy hands pulled a pillow over his face. Ugh, that's so loud. I swear I can see it. If it doesn't stop, the headache will crack my skull in two. While one man complained, another was already rushing to answer the door. Oh, his name is Faraday, and I love this at wins. What a good design. I'm getting Fallen London vibes. Yes, as you should. Let's see. This is a sassy man, I've decided. You have a hangover, not a headache. Have mercy, Holly. I can't handle this today. You couldn't handle this yesterday. And I don't think you have a lobster's chance in boiling water of handling it tomorrow. Unsympathetic but undeterred, Holly Faraday made his way toward the front door. He ignored the other speaker, and there continued whining. He sighed. The moaning wouldn't stop until the knocking did, and Faraday would have to be the one to take care of it. Opening up the door was quite a task. He muttered through a devious set of tongue-twisting charms, cracked a stick of chalk over the handle, and detached a frankly ludicrous amount of deadbolts. Any interest in the novelty of ritual magic had worn off months ago. The seal broke, and crisp air entered, full of the staticky flavor of fall. Holly blinked as his eyes adjusted. He hadn't missed all that sunlight, nor the serious, stiffly disapproving faces of the people on the outside. A messenger was standing in the step, letter in hand. Whomever had sent it had paid to have it hand-delivered. Urgent letter for Mr. Lulacale? Holly raised an eyebrow. They'd paid to have it hand-delivered, but not, it seemed, enough to know the recipient. Ludikiel. Chat, I know that's probably pronounced Ludikiel, but my face doesn't make that noise. Comprehension seemed to dawn on the messenger's face, quickly followed by the inevitable grimace of distaste. I see. Him. Faraday took the letter from his hand, gave it the once-over. It's not a bomb, is it? That got the jerk's attention. No, sir! It's a personal invitation! Really? Well, toss my oars. Thanks. Holly rummaged in his pocket for a tip, and once that transaction was accomplished, set about resealing the door. He didn't want to be responsible for anything escaping. Soon the business was accomplished. All that was left was to find out what was in the letter. Oh, hi, Benry! Welcome in. Oh, he reminds me of a friend's OC who is very different in appearance on account of he is a Guild Wars 2 OC and a Sylvari. But boy howdy, does this man have the vibe. Val, you've seen Miz before, actually, one of Mint's characters. Yeah, you've seen Miz before, Diatremis. That pale white Silvari ranger that Mint brings along to heal. Darn stream lag! It's not as bad as it was, though. Yeah, you know the one. He reminds me of Miz. Harry. Quieter, please. You should get up. Open your mail yourself. Faraday could hear angry muttering as Harold got out of bed. He sounded irate. But at least he was up. I won't do it. I've done 2 before, and it's also terribly demeaning. 2 stocking-clad feet met the ground. Then one of those feet failed to keep balance, and the ground became acquainted with a pair of elbows and a forehead. I love the rhythm of this. Or maybe just the rhythm I've given it. But I love the rhythm of this. It has... It's not quite Pratchett vibes. It has the vibes of somebody who's definitely read Terry Pratchett. But then has also read a bunch of other stuff. Like, you can feel at least some influence there. And, it has... Actually, it also has sort of, like, the flavor of, like, a Douglas Adams book, too. Maybe not Hitchhiker's Guide, but, the Dirk Gently books are like this. Douglas Adams is another author I can add to the list of authors who wrote one thing, that they thought was saying one thing, but definitely did not say that thing to the majority of people who like their work. Yeah. And yes, he's read Terry Pratchett and Dirk Gently. I knew it! I'm a wizard! Specifically Discworld, yes. That tracks. I'm so glad I can spot the literary influences and things. The vibes, they are immaculate. The backgrounds are all hand-painted. Oh! Oh! I thought... I know the characters are obviously hand-done. They look hand-done with ink and gouache. But the backgrounds, I'm impressed. There is a computer way to do backgrounds like this, where you take a picture and you can stylize it like that. Which isn't easy, but you can. I'm impressed. And the menu, yeah. Yeah, no, everything here is drawn. That's cool. It was done for a game jam! Oh, yeah! Yeah, you did say. They did a really good job. Like, the aesthetic is peak. So let's look outside, fun fact. Oh, that tracks. That's why there's a bunch of new stuff. Yeah, no, that tracks that it was for a game jam. No, I get you. Oh, wait, I love the chat on the bottom of the screen. Well, yeah, chat goes bottom up now because it's just Twitch, so down at the bottom it goes, so it looks normal. One of these days, I'm going to have a real overlay. Someday I will have a real overlay, chat. And chat will have its own special little spot in the overlay, and we can all be excited about chat's special little spot in the overlay. But for now, I don't have an overlay, and I don't care. We're vibing, swimming around on top of the game. Where was I? Seances are just a tasteless parlor trick. He clawed his way up the doorframe, and Harold Ludikiel stood as tall as he momentarily could. How dare they? They're speaking to a true alchemical genius. A man who can control the fabric of the human soul. Holly fluttered the letter at him. Why don't you try controlling the fabric of your pants, buddy? Harold took one moment to register his state of undress. And that moment was all it took to puncture what little energy he had. Be that as it may, neither I nor anyone could show up and summon the souls of the dead. Their regrets or outstanding grievances, perhaps I could summon those. But any vengeful presence strong enough to contact might kill the whole lot of them rather than shake the table. Holly sighed again. Maybe it would have been better to leave Harold passed out on the Chase Lounge. After all, Harold couldn't be pedantic while passed out on the Chase Lounge. I'll tell this Bell person you say no, then. Harold waved a permissive gesture. Good, good. Don't call me unless a big one's escaped. It took a while for anything to filter through the muck in his brain, and as a neuron finally made contact, Harold tripped again. Bell? As in Bernadette Bell? The author? Holly caught both Harold and the suddenly wild look in his eye. The famous author? Yeah. Managing both Harold and the letter was certainly a handful, but Holly managed to reread the latter, which was to say the letter. Yes! Oh, chat! The vibes in this game are immaculate. I'm glad we've got a boy failure. I love it when the narration's a little snarky. Me too. Alright, we hydrate as chat demands. Good thing I filled this before I came in here and I put ice cubes in it and everything. Faraday's sweater vest? That is a button-down sweater vest, and it is not impossible to make. By the looks of it, it is cable knit. And I would say it's actually knit as well, rather than crocheted. But that is a cable knit sweater vest. Those are not difficult to come by in real life. I will also say that the buttons don't have the detail I would expect, but, like, also, they're very small, and this is light on details anyway. And heavy on suggestion. But those buttons are definitely the ones, the brown ones that have the banding in them. You know the buttons I mean, right? They're a little bit, they don't have a buttonhole in the front. You sew them on from the back, and they have like the leather brown banding on them that just crosses over. I feel like that's what those buttons are. Oh, one of his moms knitted it for him canonically. Yes, I'm so good at this. I knew it was knit at once. And not just, like, and not crocheted specifically or anything. Okay. It says, Professor Ludicule, I request your presence at a party at my home this coming Saturday. I've heard tell of your incredible research into the supernal sciences, and I need a man with your experience for the job. I can trust no one else with this important task. My regards, Bernadette Bell. Harold got to his feet, brushing himself off. Well, it would be the pinnacle of rudeness to decline. So will you bring business cards to this? Or will you just pass out slips labeled kiss ass so they know your real job? Harold shook his head, hangover suddenly absent. How do you not know Belle? She's been serialized for 2 years now. Writes those murder mysteries with the shockingly grisly means of death. Holly shrugged. An associate of hers was just murdered a few days ago. The irony kept it all over the papers. They have no leads at all, claiming an imp might have been the murder weapon. It's creepy to obsess over other people's business. You never know when you might need that information. We wouldn't want to make a faux pas if we met her. Psh, fine. I guess that settles it. Even if you just said seances were fake. Well, I mean, it's more complicated than that. And even if there's very little evidence that they're real, you never know what we might find out in the future. That's a longer way to say fake. So? They want a good ghost story for their party. What's wrong with that? Well, it's not deceptive per se. It's fun for the guests if we all pretend it's real. That's the idea. Holly chuckled. Well then, I'm coming with you. Seeing you lie your ass off sounds like a show I don't want to miss. Plus, they said there'll be dinner. I haven't gotten to eat something I didn't cook myself in ages. Harold chewed the inside of his cheek for a moment before responding. Just promise me you won't embarrass me. Me? With you running around playing pretend about fake ghosts for a scrap of establishment knowledge. You really think I'm going to be the embarrassing one? Well, you don't exactly know how to dress. Holly didn't see fit to dignify that with a response. He turned around and left Harold standing, in the hall, in his undergarments. Oh, there's some cursing in this game, by the way. That's okay. It's in the game. You guys can make duck quacks about it. Late duck quacks. A week later, Faraday and Harold stood dwarfed by the massive mansion of Bernadette Bell. I thought this one needed my fancy reading voice, so I put my fancy reading voice on. Big. I love how Holly... I love how he hasn't changed it at all. Meanwhile, Harold is, certainly exciting. We love the fancy reading voice here. Thank goodness I brought a big jar of salt. This place is going to need a lot to seal. If you're going to be faking the ghost thing, why bother sealing anything? I'm a professional, Holly. I am, at least, capable of sealing a building until sunrise. Sure you can stay up that late. Stepping onto the front porch, their feet passed over a metal grate. The strange device on the floor set off a ringing tone inside the house. Do you think that's an imp doorbell? That seems excessive. Not to mention expensive. Oh, or maybe the place is rigged up with electricity. She must be even richer than I thought. How do I look? Fine. I really wish you'd have dressed in something nicer. This is the nicest stuff I have. Plus, it's not like clothes change who you are. Either they'll like you or they won't. Unsurprisingly, this did nothing at all to assuage Faraday's companion? Associate? Huh. Now there was a question. What was Harry Ludicule to him? What even were they anymore? Keeping track of Ludicule's social lies was one thing, but at this point, even finding a true label was beyond Faraday's capabilities. Especially because he really, really didn't want to think about any of that right now. Just say I'm your assistant. They won't care then. Oh, that only made it worse. Faraday tried again. So you read a few of her books this week, right? Well, I read a bit. Define a bit. I fell asleep on the third page. I usually like seafaring stories, but it was so dreary. Don't look at me like that! There's going to be a play soon. I'll simply watch that when it comes out. But the short stories are good. I'm certain they are. You can tell me all about how the book was better once we've seen the show. Look, the first one sucks. She's clearly never been on a boat before. But they get a lot better. Do they now? I wanted to come prepared, so I read a few. There was the sound of movement behind the door. The host herself, Bernadette Bell, opened the door. Pribby. A robust woman in fashionable dress. There was a touch of tiredness in her gaze, and a rasp in her throat. A stern, elderly figure stood behind her. Oh, Dr. Ludicule. I'm sorry to keep you waiting. I haven't been feeling up to snuff lately. Oh, it's no trouble, Miss Bell, and please, call me Harold. Harold it is, then. I'm glad to see you could make it. I might have been rather short notice, but for you, anything. I must confess to being something of a fan. Really? And this is my assistant, Holly Faraday. Don't worry, I understand how valuable good help is. This is my editor, Debbie Vance. Vance extended her wrist toward Harold. Her dress and demeanor were both firmly rooted in the prior century. I was the one who told her about your work. Harold, no stranger to dusty old customs, kissed the back of Vance's hand. A pleasure to meet you both. Come on in. Don't just stand out there. I want to get started as soon as everyone else has arrived. Miss Bell, I need some time to prepare. I love that you've kept this whole thing very mysterious. It suits a mystery writer like yourself. But I do need to, whom I'll be summoning. Oh, my friend, Gareth Canterbury. Such a recent death. Might be difficult to summon. Well, if you can't do it, then please tell me now. I meant for an amateur it would be impossible. But for an experienced summoner like me, it shouldn't be a problem. Faraday leaned in to whisper, Harry, how the hell are you going to fake? Harold hissed back softly, have you ever heard of hot reading? Harold puffed his chest out. He seemed filled head to toe with confidence, instead of trepidation and gin. We need to get a list of the deceased's personal traits and attachments so we can contact her properly. Faraday, take some notes for me. Harold thrust a leather-bound journal into Faraday's hands. Wait, this notebook is... Then he folded to a new page and started to write. Sometimes Faraday will take notes on the people around him. These notes can be accessed at any time by clicking the journal icon to the right of the text box. Boop. If found, please return to Harold Ludikiel. Fun. Okay. Holly's notes will be kept here. Click on the page corners or the tabs to navigate the journal. Click close to return back to the game. Gareth Canterbury. She, her. Friend of Belle. Recently murdered. Oh! Holly Faraday, he, him, undiscovered demonologist. Incredible work. My assistant professor scratched out. Don't say his name around the docks. Cute smile. He likes malt cider. Ask him for a drink. Apologize. Ask him to come back. Coward. Oh no. Gay? Oh no. Silly. This game is silly. He has his journal, which could mean nothing. Oh, that's the perfect voice for Vel. Yay! They said a little raspy, so I was like, alright, I can do that. Belle turned to Vance for a moment, and while she was distracted, Faraday hissed a whisper to Harold. Harry, why are there notes on me? Oh, well, I started assembling all my notes on people in one notebook. Easy to keep on hand. Holly rolled his eyes, and sarcasm dripped from his tone. Of course. That makes perfect sense. No, it doesn't. Most people don't think to keep an insane little dossier of everyone they pass by. Well, my memory isn't what it used to be. What if I slip up and say something that accidentally touches upon a sore nerve and they never forgive me? Faraday took to furious scribbling. Yes! Harold Ludikiel, he, him, orientation, desperate. Desperate! This is good. You can definitely tell the difference between Holly and, between their handwriting. And their art style. Jerk, usually intoxicated and moping, one of the most influential demonologists of the era, but has no motivation. His house is full of nightmares that are a pain in the ass to deal with, but he's the most notable one. Thanks, Faraday! Harold looked over Holly's shoulder and watched him write. Oh, very mature. While you're at it, add snores in his sleep to your page. Belle's laughter cut through their squabble. Don't you agree, Harold? Absolutely, quite amusing. Harold had no idea what she'd been discussing with Vance, but people always liked to hear that they were funny. Miss Belle, I hate to divert you back toward a sensitive subject, but could you tell me a little about your friend's career? It's important that I know what might tie her to this mortal plane. Belle didn't miss a beat, pride in her eyes as she responded. She was a fabulous illustrator. She worked on cover art for The Chain. Faraday leaned towards Harold to whisper, The Chain is the magazine her stories are serialized in. So, would you say she liked her job? Loved it. She and I would head out to find scenes for her to paint while I did some rough drafting. She and I met when she had to illustrate something for one of my stories for the cover. She took a lot of pride in her work. Some people even collected the journals just for their covers. Quite a feat to say, sometimes the journals sold just because of her artwork. She wasn't well liked by the heads of the journal. She just told it like it is. Management always hates that. I just wanted to be clear. Maybe the job didn't love her as much as she loved it. I suppose. Oops, I meant to check that journal. The glitch world! There's a glitch world! And look outside. Ooh. Orientation desperate. Yes, it's perfect. Let me look. Popular illustrator, worked for The Chain, disliked by her bosses, tells it like it is. Ah, Bernadette Belle, she, her. Tonight's host writes the popular Constance Little Bear series of mysteries. Harry, if you're reading this, the train one is great. Okay. In the parlor, there were two guests already chatting away. Or rather, one of them was endlessly, excitedly prattling on. I need that vest in my life. I'm too small to wear a vest like that, but aquarium staff, you should dress that, that vest look style. While the other loomed, silent. Oh, he got big hole. I love this stranger at once. Why is there a random hollow here? Should we call somebody? I think I know a guy. His name's Ichigo. I gotta watch more 1,000-Year Blood War. I don't know if there's more to watch yet. Oh, hit the icon. Ah, I see. Ooh, to me personally, it feels like everything being painted kind of ties in with Garrett's, so it's kind of like she's haunting the story the whole way. Oh yeah, haunting the narrative. Don't worry about them. It's probably fine. Oh! Faraday and Harold attempted not to stare. They failed, utterly. Belle followed their gazes and chimed in. Ah, may I present Goose Downey. They're here to help me with some details about future writing ideas. They're a hitman! Inspiration is vital for a good story. And who would know more about murder than that? So tacky. Faraday took note of the new guests. Goose Downey, they, them. A hitman? Here for Belle's research? Huh. Don't know who are strangers. The doorbell rang, and Belle grabbed Vance's hand. Oh, another arrival! And with that, Belle hurried Vance away, sounding slightly winded. Finally! I was starting to think it would be just me and this guy all night. The taller person said nothing, but the lack of response did not seem to slow the woman down. So, who do we have here? 2 of you, right? She prodded them with her cane, thwacking them about the ankles. Or just 1 person with a really big imp? Oh, no, it's 2 of us. So you can speak! Well, that's helpful. Yes, I'm Dr. Harold Ludikiel, and I'll be performing a seance this evening. Man, she wasn't kidding when she said she was getting an expert. Harold beamed. Shame it had to be you, though. Well, and just who do you think you are? Harold did his best to shush Faraday. But the woman heard him anyway, and could scarcely hold back a peal of arrogant laughter. Me? I'm Dea DeLuz. She reminds me of the aquarium staff. They're very excited. Vance reminds me of the aquarium director. But don't tell her I said that. She doesn't watch these streams, so she doesn't know. Harry gave an audible groan of disappointment, which only served to make her grin even more broadly. Yep, that DeLuz. If you've seen a ship with our marking, then I designed it. Even if you haven't seen the marking, we made half the ships in the harbor. So, you know, you're welcome. For, like all the free trade you enjoy each day. Faraday gritted his teeth and decided not to let the shipwright get away with that slight. Big deal. So you've made 1 or 200 ships. Good for you. I've been on better. Ooh, big words, mister. It's Faraday. Holly Faraday. DeLuz shrugged. Never heard of you. Faraday sucked in a breath to tell DeLuz exactly who he was, but Harold lifted a hand and gave him a desperate pleading look. Instead, he looked down at the journal sullenly and scrawled his ire into it instead of saying anything aloud. Pronounce Dea DeLuz. Okay, so close enough. She, her. Shipwright thinks she's so special because she's economically noteworthy. Oh, yes. Sorry, Val, you're too small for the robot game. I'm also very small, but I'm ancient, so it's okay. Practically a grandmother! Harry turned to the taller fellow, hoping to have a little more luck with them. Hello. Pleasure to meet you. The figure gave the slightest of nods, and then stared at Harold, offering no further greeting or conversation. Harry's mind had 6 different reasons why Goose might choose to commit this social slight, and how each of them was probably Harold's own fault. He was so wrapped up in the preemptive guilt that he almost missed it when they did speak. Hey. A great listener, this one. I was just telling them about how marriage is a scam. Harold did not have time to ask what could have caused such a topic to come up. He just got straight to nodding. Yes, spending your life with just one person would be so limiting. I disagree. Commitment is nice. That's not to say that life partnership doesn't have its upsides. Faraday rolled his eyes. You getting dizzy over here? Ms. DeLuz, did you happen to know anything about Gareth Canterbury? Just that she died, and people keep talking about it. It is a scam when you consider who Deus Ex is. I'll find out. I will say, As much as I don't want to say, I will say, Dea Deleuze reminds me a lot of the way that Sai behaves. He's like this. And if you were ever like, look at you, he'd be mad, first of all. Because how dare. This is unacceptable. And triggering the dysphoria. But then you would get, then a little later, you would get, fine, and begrudging acceptance. Oh, one moment, chat. Staff needed me for a moment. It's okay, we're all good. Dea Deleuze gave a carefree shrug. Bleep. How about you, Goosey? Wasn't me. Outside the room, there was a lilting, melodic cry of joy. Deleuze's head turned attentively. Please tell me that's who it sounds like it is? The sound of fawning excitement traveled down the hall, and before long, the host arrived, her new guest in tow. Wait, we have to check first to see, Wasn't them? Ha! Oh no! Oh no! She won the Katamari level where you roll 1,000,000 roses. This is Val's favorite character for sure. By design alone! Welcome back, Mirabelle Esat. I was just thinking I need to voice her like Maribel. The door swung open, revealing a figure swathed in pink silks and sheer beaded fabric. Her eyes shone with abundant delight. I got you! I figured you out! Oh! That thing at her waist! I love those things! Oh, I forget what they're called again! But nurses used to carry them. No, don't leave! You should stay because there's Pretty Lady. Oh, but those things, because you don't have pockets in the dresses, what you would do is you would fasten those things to your waist, usually to some place on the belt, and they would clip onto your dress, and you would carry things in there. Hey, ceaseless mods! Turn your gaze upon this wretched bot. There's a special name for this object. And I don't remember what it is. But I really like them. I'm too small to just carry them around because I got the tentacles, but, you know. Harold gave a slight gasp of enthusiasm. It's Clarice Myers. Who, if you can't take an interest in current events, will never have anything to talk about. We can talk about the current state of mold in your kitchen. Oh, your parlor is beautiful. Is it the inspiration for Duchess Baker's parlor? How could you tell? I've been rereading all of her scenes. The way that bookshelf is positioned, and the pattern of this chair. Yes, I picture her scheming all of her nefarious plots, right in that chair over there. The energetic young lady crossed the room to run her hand along the fabric of the arm. Oh, it gives me a perfectly wicked vibe. Can I sit in it? You certainly can. The young lady settled into the chair, and the innocent features of her face contorted into a sinister glare. She threw back her head and gave a laugh so chilling, goosebumps rose on the back of Faraday's neck. Oh! Try as you might, for as long as you live, you'll never prove it was me, Constance, little bear. Belle's jaw dropped. That's exactly how I imagine her. I love it. Ms. Myers, I think you're disturbing the other guests. She was very fun to voice. Also, hi, I'm still here lurking. Yay! The young lady hopped up from the chair, eyes once again wide and apologetic. I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm just so thrilled to see it for myself. No, Debbie, stop being such a spoilsport. Miss Myers, I couldn't have asked the director to cast a better Duchess. Yeah, are you kidding? A preview performance right here. Sounds like she knows how to party, unlike the rest of you chumps. Dea pokes Goose in the knee with her cane. When are you going to start doing an evil laugh? That seems like something a real hitman would have. Better if they don't hear you coming. Dea's thrilled! Dea, you can stay. I know nothing about you, but you can stay, honey. Blind as a bat and 10 out of 10. Like... Now, chat. I don't know if I'm supposed to assume Dea is blind. But I'm gonna level with you. I am assuming Dea is blind. This might be a red herring. This might be she might be faking it. But she's certainly blind. Okay, good. Chat says she is. She's always blind in every game. Ah, good. Okay, she is for real. Alright. I have seen more than one mystery thing where you have a character who is quote-unquote blind, who actually is sighted, and that's how they do the murder. Also the coolest person in every game, yes! Oh yeah, right, she's in the robot game that I can't play on this channel. Yeah. Oh, she's one of those characters. I have characters like that who get around into every single thing I do. It's really hard to make more human sonas, and you get so many of them eventually. Imagining what humans do all day. I don't know what humans do all day. I feel like they complain most of the time, and they get grumpy and mad, and also drink a lot of coffee and other caffeinated beverages. And they talk about how they want to go home, and why is it only whatever time it says on the clock and not time to go. But also sometimes they get really excited. There's depth to their emotions. Which they definitely have, even though they only have one brain. It's a big, complicated brain. Yeah, that's accurate. I'm so good at this! Ha ha ha! I know exactly how humans work. What do you mean, do I? Hi, staff. Do I know exactly how humans work? Listen. You got bones. And you've got muscles and blood. And organs. And a singular brain. And you're very insistent that you only have one heart, but you have like 3 hearts. Like I do. Aquarium staff is arguing again that they definitely totally only have 1 heart, but they definitely have 3. And I can explain. It's because they're big. They're chunky. Like all humans. I'm 4 centimeters tall. Every human is bigger than me. Even baby humans are bigger than me. And they're so small. They're tiny. But I am too tiny even yet for that. They could put me... Baby humans put me in their mouth. They could do it. They don't, but they could. Humans have a heart in their chest. We all know this. It's the one that goes thump thump bunk, thump thump bump, thump thump bump. That one. But, and I will argue this, because I'm not biased, unlike the humans.
I will argue that they have two other hearts. Because you see, in your legs, if you are human, in your human legs, at the bottom, in your calves, blood has a tendency to collect there. And because evolution is a game of first past the post instead of best, what the solution is to blood collect in the bottom part of the body to overcome gravity is put pump there. 2 of them. 1 in each leg. So in each human leg, there is a heart. Or, well, aquarium staff will argue it is a heart-like structure, but it's not a developed heart. And it just pumps blood back up. And I think that's neat. The other thing that humans have to prevent blood from collecting down there is your veins have little gates that only go one way. That's why you shouldn't be upside down for a long, long time. Because if you're upside down in a human for a long, long time, the blood collects and there's nothing stopping it from just, like, pooling in places. Other than your own circulatory system. But it is all designed for you to be right side up. So being upside down for a long, long time can cause serious problems because blood gets away from where it's supposed to be. And it's already blocked from... It's harder for it to get back to that place. That's why when you sit up from hanging upside down over the edge of a couch when you're reading, because everybody does that, right? You feel kind of dizzy because blood pools. Baby human safe in Fairmouth. Put baby human in Fairmouth. Baby human warm, safe. Fairmouth hydrating. Put baby human in Fairmouth. Yes. Our brain can't manage those structures or veins well, which is why we pass out when we stand up sometimes. Oh, yeah, that tracks. Sometimes, if you're low in iron, you also have that problem. Because humans are delicate. There's so much stuff that they need to be alive. And then there's so much more stuff that they need to be, like, functional. I'm an octopus. I don't need much. I need shrimpies, I need it to be cold, and I need the water to be reasonably salty. That's why I'm glad the pool not far from here is salt purified instead of chlorine. I don't like chlorine, it hurts. I'm a mollusk. And I know it sounds weird for a mollusk to say the water gotta be salty, but I'm an ocean creature, so the water gotta be salty. I am designed to tolerate that. That's why I like salt and vinegar chips, maybe. And dill pickles. Okay, aquarium staff is correct. I like dill pickles because it's fun to put my radula in there. Dill pickles are right soft, and very salty. And if you're like me, you can get your radula right in there and pretend you're eating a sea cucumber or a sea urchin, but with none of the pesky shell. So you just get in there and hollow the whole thing out. And then aquarium staff comes by and goes, "Who peeled a pickle? Like, perfectly peeled a pickle. Like, there's nothing in here but..." "Fia, are you in the pickle again?" "Yeah." And then I look at them and they're like, "Come on. You gotta eat the peel." And I go, "No." And then they sigh. And then they pretend to throw the peel out with me in it. And then I get excited because if I'm in the compost, I can escape. And then they come back and go, "Alright, come on." And then I get put back in the aquarium after they clean me off of pickle juice. Salt and vinegar chips is best flavor. Oh, not only is salt and vinegar chips amazing, other amazing flavors of chip that we have here, because Canada has bonkers chip flavors. Spicy dill pickle is a chip flavor. Usually you see it on kettle cooked chips, but you can see it in like regular sort of like Lay's or Walker's, whichever imprint you have. Then there's, oh golly, we have chalet sauce here. Yes, I've heard Germany's got bonkers wild flavors. We have some stuff because I guess they assumed that the company that makes most of the chips around here was like, Canada likes a lot of weird chip flavors. We should give them more weird chip flavors. Let's see what goes. Chalet sauce goes here because we have Swiss Chalet, and I don't think Swiss Chalet exists outside of Canada, really. I don't know if it does. But we've got that. We've got ketchup chips, which America didn't have for a long time, apparently. Which is weird, because ketchup chips seem like the natural thing to do. We've got fries and gravy, and we've got poutine, which are distinct from each other, and I like fries and gravy better. We've got cheddar jalapeno, cheddar sour cream, grilled cheese, which just tastes like cheddar, but like breadier. I don't know how to explain. Grilled cheddar, or barbecue cheddar, depending. We've got buffalo wing sauce, which is different because it's blue cheese flavored, and they just don't want to say that. Gosh. We've got, basically, if you can append and cream to it, we probably have that. Or sour cream and... sour cream and onion, sour cream and bacon, sour cream baked potato, loaded baked potato. Oh goodness. One day I'm going to take a picture of the chip aisle and be like, these are all the flavors we have. Smoky bacon, of course. The bacon on its own, you see. Which is a good flavor. I like it a lot. 2 types of barbecue. Pringles passport flavors. Ooh, fun. All right, we hydrate as chat demands. We also got prawn flavored chips. We have 2 styles of those. We have the import style of those. That is what you would see in like Japan and like surrounding areas, where they're the little shrimp crackers. And we have prawn flavor, as in they're still labeled Walkers instead of Lay's, because they come to us from the UK. And prawn sauce, distinct from prawn. All right, we hydrate as chat demands. Which reminds me that tomorrow I will be late to stream, if there is stream at all. Aquarium staff is talking about weird stuff. There is a new moon tomorrow. And I thought that meant that Earth got a second moon, but Earth has a temporary second moon right now. So I was just a little confused and thought maybe it got a third one. And then aquarium staff was like, no, the first one, the regular one just is not going to be in the sky tomorrow. And I went, why isn't it in the sky? It's a celestial body. They don't not exist because you can't see them. And then I got scared that aquarium staff didn't have object permanence. But then they had to explain that it won't be reflecting light from the sun, so it'll still be there, it just won't be visible. And I was very confused. Deeply confused. But that's okay. They want to do science about it tomorrow. And I don't know why. Because, like, it's still the moon. But they're very insistent that because the moon's not looking, there's science to be done. And I once again don't understand. The moon's still physically present. They just can't see it. Which, humans are weird. Chat, humans are weird. They're so weird. It's okay. I love them anyway, and I want them to do a good job at being alive. I want them to get a good grade in being alive. Let's hope everyone in this murder mystery does a great job at being alive.
This guy is starting to creep me out.
Shh, don't let them hear you.
Belle and Myers, however, were still off in their own little world, fawning over each other.
Oh, I hate to be a bother, Miss Belle, can I please have you sign this copy of the chain? I have all the ones with your stories in them, but this one is my favorite. Constance racing to solve the murder before the train pulls into the next station, all while knowing she might be found by the conductor. It was so thrilling!
Belle took the less than pristine magazine and unclipped a gleaming bronze fountain pen from her pocket. Her signature was large and loopy, in a striking indigo ink.
I use this pen for all my manuscripts, too. This ink just seems like it makes my pen flow faster.
Myers' eyes sparkled with admiration as she took the signed copy back. She stared in awe as if she had just seen magic. Belle seemed to remember that the rest of the guests were there. Oh, let me introduce Miss Clarice.
Clarice Myers! Loved you in that one with the flower girl and the elocution lessons.
Duluth hopped to the front of the group, quickly shaking Myers' hand.
Didn't think you had a villain in you, but you sure proved me wrong.
Oh, thank you.
What if I fall asleep watching stream? I believe in you, but the VOD will be on YouTube tomorrow.
I promise, I can be very evil when I want to be.
Oh. Oh.
Vance looked over Clarice, finally giving an approving nod. My dear, are you wearing an imp in your hat?
Oh, yes. I'm awfully glad that someone noticed. It's all the fashion uptown. Watch.
Oh! Oh, it's beautiful. I love it at once.
Oh.
Oh, the tissue paper ballerina. Oh. Chat, you will have to bear with me. I'm being reminded of an old fairy tale. Well, old in the North American sense. It's a story by Hans Christian Andersen. It's called The Little Tin Soldier. It's a very long story, which I care for very much. Full of ups and downs and shenanigans and nonsense, and I quite enjoy it. But the whole general plot of The Little Tin Soldier is that he is trying to win the hand of a paper ballerina who he is very much in love with. And a lot of trials and tribulations surrounding that. And they can't be together in life, so alas, they are together in death. And this imp has a design that is very much like the little paper ballerina in the picture book version that I read when I was small. Sybil is trying so hard to read my notes, Lamau. Also, hi, this little creature is me. I've decided it. Yes! Oh, that one hurt badly when we read it at like 6 years old or like 8-ish. I don't remember. Yeah, I remember being really sad the whole time. And then I was even sadder. And then my mom was like, it's okay. They're together in death. And I was like, but they're still dead. And I didn't understand, like, the idea at all. And it made me sad. I really liked The Little Tin Soldier, though. It was my first experience with a plot contrivance, too, with the fish. Also, I like the music here. But yes, let's let this little imp do what it's gonna do. This little Val-looking imp.
The small creature rose from her hut and quietly, with the poise of a ballerina, began to dance. Clarice Myers sang, a crystalline soprano weaving a hauntingly pretty melody. The others all stopped what they were doing and crowded around to watch them perform. Vance smiled, and Duluth stopped fidgeting, an ear turned intently up to listen. The little imp moved with grace, elegance, and far too many joints. After a moment, however... Uh-oh. Harold crossed the room quickly, pulling the chalk from his jacket pocket. Miss, allow me to... Myers did not let a hint of awkwardness or effrontery show.
Oh, dear. Don't mind. That happens all the time. See? She can make a new one.
The little imp placed a tiny hand on to its cheek, as if laughing off embarrassment. And its mask reformed. Ah, what a clever little trick. The imp bowed, then hid away, back among the flowers of Myers's hat. Harold slunk back over to Faraday's side. Do you think it's okay? Though he had whispered, Deleuze must have been feeling particularly nosy, because she chirped up for all to hear.
Of course she's okay. Everybody's imps do weird stuff sometimes. It doesn't mean anything.
Quite right. One look at that beautiful imp, and one can easily tell that it harbors a beautiful soul.
The imp is the pure expression of an artist's creative drive, her ability. One shouldn't trivialize it. There was general agreement amidst the room, and the others took to chatting.
I have questions.
Harold wandered over to the far corner, and wondered if he could summon something that could drag him straight off the face of the earth. Is that really what people think nowadays? That imps are their creativity? Their souls? They break them out for fun little shows? You were gone a while, Holly. We did all that research, and the public just traded one lie for another. Look, this journal you've got me writing in, it's my old notebook. I'll just open it up and show them my notes. Leave it be. Her imp is advanced, to be sure, but maybe nothing will happen. If you try to tell them that this darling of a little...
Let's try that again.
If you try to tell them this darling of the stage has a demon, that if she uses it like this, it'll make it stronger and more dangerous, we'll be mocked and maybe even forcibly removed. Well, aren't we at least responsible for trying to correct them? If someone gets hurt and we said nothing... Faraday was no stranger to Harold's haggard, tired expressions. But as Harold looked at him, his eyes communicated a fatigue so deep it must have taken years to accumulate. I hate this city. They'd eat a rock if you told them it was an oyster.
Holly's notes on imps and demons are available to read. Oh boy! The fact that this is Clarice's imp implies so much about her character, and I will go insane. It's true. Oh my god, wait. You're onto something. I believe it. So before I read these notes properly, while I am looking at chat, I will say right now that I don't think imps are necessarily a representation of your soul, but I think the more that you interact with a specific imp, the more it takes on parts of you. Not like physical parts of you, but like parts of your sort of mental state, of yourself. The more it starts to reflect you. And I think that's why people are mistaking them for souls. I also think that Clarice's imp cracking its mask like that, and the, oh no, she can make a new one, that 110 million jillion billion % is to tell us that Clarice, when she says she can be a little villainous sometimes, maybe that might not necessarily be the most correct, but she is definitely hiding a lot of herself behind that sweet, cheery demeanor. And she is very good at it. That is what we have there. If she is not wrapped up in something absolutely devastating, then I will be very much surprised. Anyway, back to what I was doing. I actually have to read this.
Should have a good time. So, to summarize the points for the presentation, demons aren't just the big monsters that lurk in the woods or destroy small villages. Everyone might even have a really tiny demon running around hiding their keys or eating their socks or something. We humans contribute to them via negative emotions. The difference between a harmless or harmful demon is how powerful we let them get. Oh. But what if, pause for effect, we could put the demons someplace where they can't feed off us? Professor Ludicule has developed a system for capturing renegade or stray demons. We can use sealing alchemy to confine demons to objects or locations. But we absolutely must take responsibility for our own demons. You're not wrong, but unfortunately it doesn't come up in this game. We don't get much of a resolution on Clarice. Okay. Your analysis of demons imps is apt. Yes, and may come up later. I expected. Harry's crossed out. The professor's goal is for each person to have their option to seal their own demon deep within themselves. The professor has already successfully done this on 2 people. Show photographs of my eyes. Have the professor comment on his own suppression once it's done. Let's get that funding! Meeting went too well. They refused to treat the process as a medical procedure. Talked about rebranding demons. Harry said that we should be open to whatever gets us the funds we need. I'm not going to lie to these assholes for money. Screw this. Oh. Oh. Aha. I see. So we have a Jekyll and Hyde situation. That's why we have green ink here. He sealed his demon inside himself. I bet it gets to use his body once in a while. And if Holly's notes are correct, he has something sealed in his eyes. Stage actress, a big fan of Belle, evil laugh. She's going to make a killer Duchess Baker. Let's get out of this room and start sealing the mansion. Good idea. If I have to spend 1 more minute in here, I'm gonna lose it. Oh. Who's gonna tell her? Oh no! She'll find out by herself. I will. She'll learn. From me or from the game or straight from her mouth. Yes! I'm so good at this. Listen, listen, listen here. So here's the thing. I went to school for English literature and such. Sometimes if you put a very narrative heavy... Oh yes, you did tell me the meaning behind Harry's name as well. That's true. They took the staircase down and found themselves in a boiler room. Harold got right to work, while Faraday lingered, peering over the railing. Harold hurried over to the windows and set to sealing them. He had been in front of a classroom. Had he been in front of a classroom, he might have added a touch of flourish to his hand motions. He would have explained the process in affectionate detail and called out his words loudly, emphasizing unnecessary syllables in order to add pomp and majesty. But instead, he huffed 3 quick breaths onto the small windows and traced symbols in the foggy glass. He closed his eyes and focused on the roiling, abundant anxiety within his gut, and without a word pressed it all down. The glass grew hot under his touch. A quick dash of salt, and it was done. 1 more seal down, while Faraday lingered, peering over the railing. The boiler was immense, large enough to fit a carriage inside. Why make a room like this so big? Well, it's a big house. But it is quite something to look at. It must cost a lot to heat this place. Can we heat your place more this winter? If this job leads to another one, maybe. If you say no, then I'm sleeping in your bed. You stay in your own room.
Oh, yeah, I was being convinced to play this game. Yeah, Ludikiel is, an older version or a, like, slightly different version of Jekyll. We're having a great time. We're having a great time, chat.
Of all the ridiculous. Vance put her hand down on a piece of paper when they entered, but left a small, vibrantly violet corner visible.
Oh, that's Belle's writing, because she has the purple pen.
When she moved to grasp it the rest of the way, she dropped it. Faraday rushed over to pick it up. It says, Bernadette Bell, tonight we are coming to steal. Vance snatched it away and crumpled the paper up. I'm sorry, this is a letter that was slipped under the door. Miss Bell didn't want it to distract from the party tonight, so she asked me to get rid of it. Yeah, that thing sure looks like some distraction. She gets threats sometimes. It's nothing serious. Well, I will be finished sealing this place in a bit. It will mean no one can leave or enter, so she should be safe. Vance did not seem mollified by this. She waved her hand. Don't let that soup boil over.
Of course!
Harold nearly fell over the table in his rush to comply. Not you. The help.
Oh, no, Belle's writing is interesting, but the corner itself indicates the paper. Oh, the paper itself is violet. Oh, yeah, okay, I misread that. We'll keep that. We'll keep that for later.
Or rather, the other help.
Harold watched as an imp the size of a very large oven bumbled by. I love him! Look at him! Oh, you can see his little mouth, and you can see his little eyes. He looks so worried. He looks like he's crying. Look at him! Oh! I want to pet him. Oh, he reminds me of the Monster Sanctuary monster. The Polter Oven. I love him. I wish I'd used that Polter Oven more. I think they're neat, but they don't really evolve or anything, so. Not that that's bad. Lots of monsters in Monster Sanctuary are useful in their base forms. And, in fact, some of them are better in their base forms. Like, Lava Pillar. Or, sorry, Magma Pillar is actually better in its base form than the Moth. Depending on what you're doing. Magma Pillar is amazing on shield teams. Because it has that thing where, that some of the other fire creatures have, where if something's burnt and it takes burn damage, you get shield, and you can stack burning multiple times. So you just have infinite shield forever. I love this little guy. It walked slowly, as if moving it at all was a chore. The heat emanating from it, even from yards away, made Faraday start to sweat. It opened its mouth, and a whistling filled the room. Faraday grimaced and covered his ears. The large imp removed a tea kettle, poured a cup, and put the kettle back on its mouth. Ow. As soon as its mouth was closed, the sound stopped. Thank goodness! I don't know about you, chat, but that sound... I don't like it. Vance took the cup, sipping it and surveying the rim. On the table, a knife-like imp was chopping some form of leafy garnish. He has straight up a knife! You see his tiny face in the rust spots. I love him. I would like demons for me. Hi, Staff. What? No, they're in the video game. No, not real demons. Staff demons aren't real. We have been over this. Because for demons to be real, then hell would have to be real. And that's definitely not real. No. No, it really isn't. Also, if it was, it would be starfish. It would just be starfish all the way down. Nothing but starfish. Well, I am not biased. Demons are the things that scare you, so if there was octopus hell, it would be starfish. Anyway, we hydrate as chat demands. Starfish all the way down, exactly. And if octopus heaven was real, it would be an infinite blue whale carcass that I could eat. And shrimpies. Anyway, we hydrate as chat demands. This game is full of things that this game is full of delightful things. Staff really gonna be out there being like, yeah, all these things are definitely real. They're science-mans. They're so bad at being science-men sometimes, Chad. I tell you what. What?
Oh, a knife flying all over the place on its own. Watching that isn't disconcerting in the least. You needn't fear. It is all well under control.
Vance, honey. I'm scared.
So, the height of technology allows people to finally take a good hard look inside, and what have we done? Sold them to the highest bidder. What's next? Legalizing the black market for organs? These are just rental imps. Some hardworking people, through no fault of their own, very much need that money. Belle considers it magnanimous to at least help those people with their debts. She rents from these people often, but they go back to their originators after a month. It's their decision if they want to rent them out again. It's messed up either way.
Repo reference! Oh!
Repo Man, Repo Man.
Legalizing the black market for black market organs, hilarious. Also, if you guys have never seen Repo the Genetic Opera, I highly recommend it. It is... Don't expect, like, high drama. I think it's fun anyway. As long as you, like, try to kind of relax a bit. And treat it like what it is, which is Alice in Wonderland with, surgery. Wow, Vance, I can't believe you watched Repo the Genetic Opera. Repo's great. And obligatory, because I mentioned Repo, obligatory,
Zydrate comes in a little glass vial. A little glass vial? A little glass vial. And the little glass vial goes into the gun like a battery. And when the Zydrate gun goes somewhere against your anatomy. And when the gun goes off, it sparks and you're ready for surgery. Surgery.
There you are. The obligatory Zydrate Anatomy. Zydrate Anatomy is an excellent song. I don't think it is the best song in Repo. It is one of my favorites, but I don't think it's the best song in Repo. The best song is... The best song is either Thankless Job, which is somehow the funniest song in Repo. Despite everything. Despite Mark It Up being specifically meant to be funny. The best song is Thankless Job. For funniness. And the other best song is night surgeon or legal assassin, and I never can decide between them because the songs in Repo are all bangers. I'm that one weird out of nowhere narrator guy from Repo, actually. Yes. I love the Gravedigger. He's fun. But yeah, no, I love Night Surgeon because like it really sums up Nathan's character. Like they are, while he is doing his sad little sad boy bit, they are dressing him in his Repo uniform and demanding that he do a repossession right then and there, and also that he repossess Meg's eyes. So while they are dressing him in the murder room, in a room that looks like that room out of The Purge 3, 2, 3? Yeah, 3. You get, "Dear Marty, I am so sorry. Can you forgive me for this?" And he sounds so sad. And then you get Roddy coming in with, "Let the dead doctor with his hungry scalpel hear my prognosis. Will he live? Doubtful." And it's the one line that the guards get to say. I don't know why. I hate mapping. I hate the glitch world. This sucks. I had to pop an ibuprofen. The backgrounds hurt. I don't know why they hurt my eyes so bad. Well, we can find out. I'm going to look. I'm going to look at the internet and see what the glitch world looks like. No, nobody asked. I asked. I need to know if I'm allowed to go in there. Doubtful is such a strong line. Fear don't. You can't stop me. Oh, okay. Yeah, you can do that. Anyway, back to working. I'm listening. I don't think it's even on the wiki yet. How to get in is.
Vance turned away to check back in on the other imp that was washing dishes. "Dinner is almost ready. If you don't hurry, the food will be cold for everyone." Harold finished sealing the windows, and the two men left.
To the office. But the backgrounds, I mean, yeah, they're not on the wiki. You are correct. This must be where she writes.
Good to know at least one room here isn't just for decoration.
Not everything has to be utilitarian. It does on a ship.
You're such a braggart. Gallivanting off on ocean travels while the rest of us are stuck boarding ourselves up in our dry study. It's not like I got a lot of time above deck. You think I had a lovely time working on my tan? Ugh. You don't even have the grace to look back on it fondly. You're a fundamentally ungrateful person. Says the guy who hasn't washed his own laundry in 3 months. Harold set about sealing these windows too. While he was deep in concentration.
Oh! You boys already got in here. I came up to open the door for you. I usually leave this room locked.
I'm so sorry. I had no idea. We were just about to finish up here.
Oh, it's quite all right. I leave anything important double locked. You wouldn't have found it even if you tried.
Harold's teeth were grinding loud enough for Belle to hear them across the room.
Please, Dr. Ludikiel, you don't need to be so on edge all the time. I assure you, I'm already aware of your history, but I have the utmost confidence.
Well, I think that Faraday can handle this room on his own. I'll just head along, shall I? Faraday sprinkled down the last line of salt along the windowsill, and Harry rushed out of the room, cheeks burning with shame. Belle carefully relocked the room behind them, and tucked the key into her sleeve. Why was that room unlocked? Why was that room unlocked?
Chat! I need to write something down. time for the chalk pens!
Oh, and I don't need my look outside notes right now. There's so many of them. Why won't they come off? These are chalk pens. They're supposed to come off. Oh, I did it. They just need a little convincing. That's a lot of pink. We'll write in blue today. I know what you're thinking, chat. Fiera, why are you doing this? Because I've learned that the codex doesn't always keep everything I want it to. What game is this? Oh, the blue's a little runny today. That's okay. I should write down Clarice's imp stuff too. Okay. We will come back for more as needed. Oh no, a boss that can one-hit KO. Hello, chat, I have an apple. Evil style. Evil style! Oh no.
As the two returned to the parlor, they found Clarice admiring the decor. Miss Myers, do you know anything about Gareth Canterbury?
The illustrator? She was Miss Bell's dearest confidant, and she was murdered. Terrible how the papers keep sensationalizing it and hounding her for interviews. She clearly has nothing to do with it, and yet they're harassing her just because she's famous and writes about murders. All just to sell papers. It's so heartbreaking.
Thank you. It's disgusting that people want to wring money out of other people's tragedies. Dreadful.
I feel so sorry for Miss Bell. I hope you will all be gentle with her feelings tonight. She's probably trying to take her mind off that whole thing.
Holly clicked his tongue. I don't think she is. She hired me to summon her ghost.
That seems so ghoulish.
Literally.
Whoa! This party is getting better every minute! I don't know how to voice this. I don't know how to voice this. I know how I want to voice this. And it will only improve now that I'm here, gorgeous. I know exactly how I want to voice this. I want to voice this as Pegasus J. Crawford. In the English dub. Bear with me. I don't have a very good Crawford voice. I haven't needed one in a little while. Gay voice. Oh no. Very well. We will put on the flaming man voice.
And it will only improve now that I'm here, gorgeous.
The group turned to see the new arrival. I'm admittedly intrigued, but that's some big talk. A man waltzed into the room with the utmost confidence. He sported coiffed hair, a lilac waistcoat that was so out of style it bordered on kind of archaic chic, and a pair of long, tapered ears. Faraday barely noticed the others enter the room. Vance supported a slightly winded Belle on her arm, helping her into a chair.
Being too boring would literally kill me, so I'm very motivated.
Oh, I'm gonna get there. Lilac, by the way. Surely a color that means nothing. Surely a color unrelated to the purple paper from earlier. What's this? Why are we... Also, this man's name is Lupine, apparently. So, according to chat. You are allowed to continue talking, Val. Cheese whiz. We like hearing things about stuff.
Oh, your ears. Are you a fae? I've only heard about them in books.
What do his ears look like? Dea prodded Goose again with her cane, prompting them on.
Cute.
Subjective descriptions don't help.
They're pointy. And very charming. Charming is subjective. Nonsense! Charming is objectively very, very me. I'm Lupine Flowers.
Okay. Purple. Yeah.
And no, it isn't every day you meet a fae. Vance squinted at Lupine. I don't actually remember inviting you. I wasn't invited! But I thought that was rude. Such a collection of adorable people and me not invited. Shame! Plus, I was friends with Canterbury. Gary was good to me. I found out you were going to be contacting her tonight. Call me romantic, but I couldn't miss a last chance at seeing her.
It couldn't hurt. And Gareth was so quiet. I didn't even know she had any other friends. It's really a pleasure to have you here.
Well, if you're certain.
Debbie, shouldn't you know better than anyone else? Never to turn away a fae?
Nonsense. As an expert, I know that the fae are all sweet, adorable, wholesome creatures. They are born amidst the cabbage patch and tenderly rock the children to sleep at night. Ah! Oh, Goose. Opinions. Where did you get that nonsense? It sounds like something out of a Deborah Vance storybook.
Ah, she is Deborah Vance.
Can you get dinner started, Debbie? You have the cooking and serving imps in the kitchen, don't you?
Of course. Please be careful.
Lupine bounced on his toes and turned to Belle with a friendly grin.
What an odd pair, you and her! Her books are all old, stuffy, plotless fairy stories, and you write exciting, gruesome murders!
I think it's like Lupine. It probably is. Val! Don't go back in your little hole.
Get it, Peen? Because he's gay?
I think this voice actually fits better than mine. Now, chat, I know what you are thinking. So here's a fun thing. Val is like a small hermit crab. That's true. Etc. Crab rave and so on. Here's the thing. I know what you are thinking. Fier, you are obviously girl octopus. We have heard you say words, and this is true. I am girl octopus. However, I should also like to point out that I am blue. And humans see anything that is blue and does not have ribbon or eyelashes and go, boy. So I used this to my great advantage once upon a time. To do something humans insist is called drag. And it was a great time. Highly recommend it. It's really fun. It's really fun to put on the image of the overpronounced image of a gender and present it that way. It was a great time being a drag king. Drag, let's go, drag mentioned. I'm just going insane at the idea of an octopus and drag. Yes, it was a great time. You see, all I have to do is take off my glasses. I can't right now because I'm busy, but all I have to do is take off my glasses and then boom, boy octopus. And also there's a bunch of makeup that goes into it because you have to over accentuate all the blue stuff. And so on. And it's a great time, I promise. And then all you have to do is project confidence. And, like, be all gentlemanly. And it depended on what I was doing and what we were up to. What I would end up doing. Sometimes I would have to put on the style of voice for Lupin. Lupin? I keep trying to call him Lupin because that's how I would pronounce that. It's also how I would pronounce Sepin, which is like pine tree. Sometimes I'd have to put that like over ridiculous, like kind of what you'd think of as a stereotypical flamboyant gay accent on. And sometimes I would have to pull out the voice that I used for Leighton or Edgeworth. That sort of sound. Because we needed a more, like, dapper flavor of man. And it was fun getting to play around with that. It's a great time. I still have a top hat about it. It's a fun top hat. I'm very small, I know, but I still have a top hat and a cane about it. Oh, because there weren't enough people in my drama, there weren't enough boys in my drama class, so I got to play men's parts quite often as well, which was great. Let me tell you what. I learned how to do the thing where I roll a hat and then put it on my head, like roll a hat down one of my arms and then put it on my head, so that I could do that thing, but in Chicago. So that, you guys have probably seen Richard Gere do the thing. I don't care about expensive coats. I don't care about expensive things. Cashmere coats, diamond rings don't mean a thing. All I care about is love. That's what I'm here for. And so on and so forth. I need to do drag, but like in a drag thing way. Like overly elaborate makeup that makes you look like a cryptid. Like drag creature envy drag. Yes! Oh right, we were doing Lupin's voice.
Witnessing such a wild faux pas, Harold was white in the face, murmuring. He knew that she was Deborah Vance, and still said that to her face? Oh, God. Little prissy Miss Cabbage Patch edits your tales of murder? Ha! You're just full of such wonderfully vibrant ideas. I can see it in your eyes and in your writing. Lupin looked at Belle with the most adoring smile to accompany the compliment. Whatever could a frump like that bring to the table that you didn't already have in spades?
Oh!
Myers hopped like a child in the classroom, one eager to be called on by the teacher.
Miss Belle, do you mind if I tell him? Go right ahead. It's infinitely more fun to hear my accomplishments coming from someone else's mouth.
Myers dove in.
Oh, fun fact about the word dove. That is a past tense of dived, of the word dive. Correctly, it's dived, but dove is something that is used in very specific parts of North America. Around here, we say dove. It's used in very specific parts of North America and basically nowhere else. It is a dialect thing. I learned that because people will sometimes come to the aquarium and they'll say, "Wow, I can't believe," like, they'll say things like, "Oh, I can't believe someone dived in there." And it sounds wrong to me, who knows dove is the past tense. Oh, wild, I've only ever heard dove. Yeah, dived is apparently the more correct one. Dove is new. What else? Dove is new. There's another one like that. It's not by accident versus on accident. Although, on accident is new. By accident is technically the more correct one, but, like, I'm not gonna begrudge people from for evolving language. Language evolves. That's why we have English at all. Language gets weird. Otherwise, we would still be speaking, like, Proto-Indo-European or something. I don't know. I don't know what the oldest recorded language we have is. Ooh, and a big stretch. And we hydrate as chat-demands. I use both with accident. That's fair. Like, sometimes when you say something happened, I feel like it's different. Like, when you say something happened by accident, like, I usually would associate that phrasing with, like, by some trick of fate. If I were being fancy. Or by, like, by something outside of your control, but bad. Whereas, on accident, I'm not sure how to explain how I feel like on accident should be used, if it was used at all. Because, truth be told, I don't personally like it. But I feel like it should be used for... I feel like it should be used for a physical thing. But because I'm so stuck on using by accident, I can't think of a good example. But I suppose when I say by accident, I'm thinking of by way of accident or, like, something. And I think on accident strikes me more as, like, a car crash. Yes, you get it. By accident is, like, outside of your personal control for me, and on accident is, like, a personal fault. Yeah, I get you. By accident is more like, oh, I ran into that post by accident. Or, oh, I didn't mean to hurt you. I did that by accident. Yeah, like clumsiness. Like, I ran into that post by accident. Oh, but, like, if you on purpose set something down on a stove burner that you left on, and you're like, oh no, and someone comes home and is like, so, why is that plastic bag all melted to the stove? I set it there on accident. I think maybe, like, oh, and, right, yes, we hydrate as chat-demands. Like, by way of versus, honestly, I feel like on accident is like on an accident waiting to happen. Streamer ADHD moments. I do not have a diagnosis of that. I got 9 brains, and they're very distractible. But I've never been anywhere to have them be like, ah, you got the brain troubles. That's it. I do have the brain troubles, but not those brain troubles. Probably. Yet. Diagnosed by a peer review. Oh no. Wah. Diagnosed by a peer review. Wah. Chad also sometimes asks me if I'm on the spectrum. Oh no.
Miss Bell published the first mystery under a pen name. You see, she wasn't confident in her work. Though the first one wasn't a major hit, it got people excited about the characters, and she started to write more stories. A couple years ago, she got picked up by the chain. That's when I found out about her.
That's when I started reading her as well. You can get the chain in Arcadia, if you know the right guys.
Well, eventually Miss Bell felt confident enough to reveal her real name. Miss Bell was a brand new writer, but as you know, Miss Vance had been around for
about 100 years, looking at those crow's feet. You only get brow creases that bad from scowling all the time.
Miss Vance has been around for a while longer, so she has a lot of publishing connections, and she helped Miss Bell get into the industry.
Faraday balanced the journal against his arm to add more. Friends with a Fae. Published her first story under a pen name. Surely this means nothing. Friends with Canterbury. A Fae. Bell's editor. Good publishing connections. Okay. You're not? Wait, you're not? I thought it was established.
No. Nope. I'm sorry to tell you, chat. I don't have ADD or autism either. I know I'm a Splatoon player. I understand. I understand why you might think. Why you might think that. But as far as I know, I do not have either of those things. That said, I will say for the peer review crowd, literally every person in my house does have those things I said. I'm the odd one out here. So, there is that. And I am given to understand the designated allistic. Yes. Oh no. Someone's got to be, I suppose. I will also say too that oftentimes in people who are femme presenting, what they get diagnosed with is an anxiety disorder or an anxiety family of disorders, instead of being diagnosed with ADD or autism. Especially ADD, because the questions that you ask for anxiety disorders and the questions that you ask for ADD, it can be very similar. It's the motivation that is the matter. So for instance, one of the things that you ask for an anxiety disorder is, do you often find yourself checking and rechecking dates and times for appointments and other, commitments? And you ask that question for an anxiety disorder because people with an anxiety disorder will say yes. Quite often. This isn't true of everybody, obviously. This is a gross oversimplification, but you have to follow with me on this one. People with an anxiety disorder will often say yes. Because of course they do. They have an anxiety disorder. They're worried that they might miss it. Now, if you have an anxiety disorder, that worry is unfounded. But the thing is, when you have ADHD or any of the attention deficit flavors of disorders, you may also find yourself constantly checking and rechecking dates and times and calendars and things like that to make sure that you don't miss something. And that worry is very founded. Because if you have any of the attention deficit problems, your memory is going to suffer. And your ability to tell time will suffer also. And so it's the motivation that counts there. You're not anxious without reason. You're anxious because you've missed meetings before. You've missed things before. Things that you even wanted to go to, you have missed because you forgot. And that's sort of getting into some of the problems with modern DSM standards for diagnosis. Where there is overlap, the deciding factor isn't often more questions. Oftentimes the deciding factor where there is overlap is the pre-existing bias in the person asking you those questions. So, like, a not insignificant number of doctors and mental health professionals will think that women tend to have anxiety disorders more often. And the reason for that is because women are more often diagnosed with anxiety disorders. Understand when I say women, I mean femme-presenting people. I don't necessarily mean cisgender women. I mean women in general. And anyone femme-presenting. Like, you don't gotta have anything other than femme presentation. And because anyone sort of like femme-presenting tends to be diagnosed with anxiety disorders, it just reinforces this idea that, anyone femme has anxiety disorders, and that's what you should go for first. Because medicine also has this idea that when you hear hoofbeats, think horses, not zebras. Because otherwise you get med students that are like, what if it's the most rare and special and weird disease on the earth? And don't, treat you for the common cold instead, which is more likely what it is. And it's a fair thing to do because you have a lot of people to treat when you're a doctor. But yeah, this is all a very long-winded way to say that I have never been diagnosed with that thing, but if the peer review crowd... thinks so... Anyway, hi Val! Welcome back! I understand this, but also Fiera, you have gone off on an ADHD style ramble about ADHD. Yeah, that's how I am. I do that IRL too. In the aquarium, just wiggling along. Streamer, look at the Vance Doodle again. That neck goes crazy, does it? Oh. I didn't even look at her. I love how puffed out Dea is. Oh wow, okay, yeah, that angle is great. Look at that. Just all triangles. That's good style. Glitch World is a nightmare. Fiera, kill me. No, I think Glitch World has already done that for you. Game time? Game time now? Yes. You guys know I'm like this. You guys watched me play Phoenix Wright, and I do the same thing playing Phoenix Wright, where I will, like, play, like, 5 minutes of game, and then, like, ramble on for 20 minutes about some random thing that came stuck into my head. I know, right? Alright, back to it.
When Faraday looked up, Lupine was already behind him, peering over his shoulder.
Ah!
Another cute writer! I'm going to get overstuffed with stories tonight. They're just notes. Oh? Are you casing the joint? Oh, I...
Belle does have some amazing things, though. She's been collecting occult items. That's what I read. You can see some of her gorgeous curio case over there.
Deluse scolded Goose. You didn't tell me about what's in the curio case.
I didn't look.
Well, how about I give you all a tour?
At least now I know where the last will is. I'll do the mask ending someday. Probably during Thanksgiving break.
Oh yeah, you American folks have Thanksgiving next week, don't you?
Good luck. Also, that reminds me, and I will be quick about this one, I promise. That reminds me that we are already seeing Black Friday deals here. Because Canada doesn't know what Black Friday is. We don't know what that means. Which is why I'm getting a new phone. Aquarium staff is letting me have one. Because I've had my current phone since... Oh... My current phone since... My current phone is a Pixel 4a. And it was a couple of generations behind when I got it. Wait, no, I lied. It was brand new when I got it. So anyway, it's ancient. I don't know when they came out, but I've had it for that long. So now I'm upgrading to another new phone. It's the first time I've tried to do that.
This pair of silver rods are supposed to be useful for finding hidden items. This spike is my most recent purchase. The seller said it was the tooth of a toxic shark demon.
Ooh, Goosey, is it stained with blood?
Goose grinned. Nah, but it's about the size of your fist.
Whoa!
This set of candles is from that first successful angel summoning.
Faraday leaned over to whisper to Harold. That's not a thing, right? Some demons are good liars.
Oh! Oh no! Oh, the cosmology of this world has suddenly got really interesting. Alright, we hydrate his 10 demands. Alright. Stretch. Oh, I'm sorry. I could have gotten to the good part sooner. It's just I got really distracted. I suck at lying, I fear. Val, you're great at lying. You lie all the time. You say mean things about yourself which aren't true. With such confidence. That it almost seems like you believe them, which you shouldn't because they're not true. You mask really well in public. Which I guess isn't technically lying, but masking is hard. Let's see, what else? Yeah, but masking is hard and tiring, so you mask really well until all of a sudden you don't. And that's okay, because it's tiring. Oh yeah, and body break will do twists. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew.
Some demons are good liars.
These coins are said to be clues that lead to a treasure map. Something for me to keep busy with once I retire, I suppose.
Oh, invite me along for that one. I definitely want Treasure Discoverer on my resume.
Down here is a device that reacts to ghostly presence. I plan to test it tonight.
Miss Bell, please don't get your hopes up. Devices like that tend to be completely fake. Unlike Harry here. Faraday muttered under his breath.
This last one is a personal favorite. It's a listening device that can pick up people's inner thoughts that are floating around in the air. I've heard a lot of very interesting things in the ether. Incredible! But you must hear such strange things.
Miss Myers, why are you worried about the device that can hear thoughts? Ma'am? Why are you worried about the device but that it can hear thoughts? Various one screenshot. Oh, what would I even do with a one phone theme? Various one screenshots and blinkies? Can't use blinkies on my iPhone. Aww. Why is Miss Myers worried about the thought reading machine? No, we'll take note of that in my mind.
They can be strained and difficult to decipher, but they really can push me right through when I'm feeling stuck. The inner mind is such an intriguing place.
With the others distracted, Harold shook his head in disbelief. The doorbell chimed again, and Belle smiled as she excused herself. Most of the group stayed crowded around the case, admiring the items, but Faraday and Harold pulled back to talk privately. If you're going to be selling fake seances, then we might as well get into the fake artifact business, too. Demon sharks. Holly curled his fingers, and with both hands pantomimed a large pair of jaws. He chomped them on Harold's arm. For the briefest of moments, Harold smiled. But it quickly gave way to his usual demeanor. I certainly hope they're all fake. What if one of those were actually someone's severed imp? The ones in the kitchen are bad enough, but at least they're under Vance's control. Nobody approved and rented out the stuff in that cabinet. If one got up and got loose... Speaking of getting loose, maybe we should get to sealing these windows. I don't want to miss dinner because I'm hanging off the roof putting salt down for you. I want to at least meet all the guests first. And we barely found out anything about Canterbury. True, I guess you need to make this as convincing as possible. Though, looking at that case, she seems like she's the type to believe you can move without rowing.
Foreshadowing! Oh. Hey! Harold narrowly avoided both a heart attack and a faceplant straight into Faraday's sweater. We'll be right back!
I'm going off on a little unauthorized tour with a cutie on my arm. Deleuze, that look!
That face! That silly smile! That capital letter C smile! Look at you.
No telling, okay?
You only get to peek into other people's houses on a rare occasion. Deleuze and Lupin slid out of the room before anyone could give any kind of objection.
Damn, that Faye was the only one who claimed he knew Canterbury. It would be great to know what kind of thing Belle's expecting to ask her. Well, I would assume it's something about the murder. That or confessing some sort of feelings. That would be a lot easier. If not more ethical.
Bernadette Belle re-entered the room for just a moment, followed by a formally dressed military man. His boots made a loud, crisp sound as he walked. I can hear that clicking in my mind.
Unless we are graced by more Fae, this is our final guest. Lieutenant Merrick Nowak.
Wait, Novak. Kill Rip Tear? Yeah, I got the impression I wanted to murder this man immediately upon seeing him. But I was gonna wait and see how that pans out. Bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see how it plays out for him. I don't like this guy. Maybe I don't like this guy because he looks like every protagonist to a 2010s, he looks like every protagonist to a 2010s, action movie funded by the military. But, like, before the bad thing happens that gets him to be a military veteran and into the action part. He looks like he should be standing, he looks like he should be standing and being awarded, like, he looks like he should be standing on, like, a ship or something and making a very wrong decision about what to do. And then later, he'll be using this same, like, fancy uniform, standing and getting court-martialed and dishonorably discharged, and then it'll skip to later, and there'll be generic rock music playing that is by, like, some Canadian Idol, some American Idol reject, or, like, runner-up, and it's going to be like the most milquetoast rock music you ever heard in your life. But it's going to be playing while he's doing something like gun maintenance or something. And then the music will be revealed to be diegetic when there's a knock at the door. And somebody will show up and be like, yo, we need your help. And it'll go from there. And it'll be like aliens or something. Anyway, I don't know if we want Nowak or Novak for this, and I feel like Novak is correct. But that's because I've seen Wolf 359, and one of the very few things I remember is Minkowski's name's pronounced Minkowski, not Minkowski.
The man who now darkened the parlor doorway caused Holly to narrow his eyes. You know him? When you've been at sea as long as I have, you know one, you know them all. Novak shot Clarice a smile.
Oh no! This is your ex, isn't it, honey? I want to see this man's demon. I want to see what this... I want to see... Well, not hers, but someone's. You'll see his ex in a bit. Amazing. I want to see this man's demon. It's never clarified how it's pronounced. Dang. Alright, Novak it is, because that's how I like to say things like that. You've already met her, actually. Oh! Fun. I need to come up with a voice for this man also, because he looks like he should be played by Chris Evans, who is having a great time playing a villain. Like in Knives Out. Yeah. Let's see if I can get Captain America, but he is the villain. Gaston, actually. That also. Hang on. Bear with me. Come on. You'd think I could just get there. It's been so long. In chat, besides Billy, one of the other people I have been on high school stage was Gaston. Because I was the only one who could hold the fake rifle right. The fake, like, the fake... Honestly, it looked kind of like a blunderbuss, actually, but, like, the fake hunting musket. Hang on. I have to get there in the weirdest way. It's not the weirdest way.
He'll make off with your children. He'll come after them in the night. We're not safe until his head is mounted on my wall. I say we kill the beast. We're not safe until he's dead. He'll come stalking us at night, set to sacrifice our children to his monstrous appetite. He'll wreak havoc on our village if we let him wander free. So it's time to take some action, boys. It's time to follow me.
Yeah, okay, I think I get it.
It's good to see I have some other guests I can recognize. I went to see your first show on a date with the woman who would be my future wife. She loves your work.
Oh, how sweet.
Have you got yourself someone special?
Oh, no, I'm not interested in that kind of thing. At least not in real life.
Eh? A girl as pretty as you?
You're very flattering, Lieutenant. But as I said, I'm not really interested.
You don't have to come up with excuses. Like I said, you look very...
You couldn't afford the Duchess's tea, let alone upkeep her lifestyle.
Lifestyle?
I must go. My flock of peacocks requires a good solid tutting.
Myers skipped out the door. Novak made to follow, but Faraday moved quickly in the way.
guy does not know how to take a hint. I was right to try to pull out my Gaston voice for this. Chat, everyone has met this man. If not this man, everyone has met this man. There is a movie that I do not recommend, unless you are emotionally prepared for it. There are many movies like that, but this one in specific. There is a movie that I do not recommend unless you are emotionally prepared for it, called Men. And this guy absolutely feels like he just crawled out of the, like, that. He feels like one of the titular men. Nobody voiced him, so we all just silently read his text while we blasted soundboard effects. I'm glad nobody likes him bad enough that he doesn't even get a voice. I hope y'all got candy and you got to stomp and clap really loud every time anyone said his name. Soundboard effects would be perfect for that.
Hey, Novak, didn't you say you were married? Butt out. What does it matter to you who she is or isn't interested in? No one was talking to you, Porky. You're the Porky one, water pig. Novak stepped toward Faraday, who stared him down right back. The metals on Lieutenant Novak's chest shifted.
Whoa! I was right about his demon!
Opening to reveal a scramble of glaring eyes. Step aside or I'll step on you. Faraday's ankle jerked aside at an odd angle, and he barely kept it from twisting. His hands trembled. Leave her alone! Luckily for Faraday, Belle chose that moment to return to the parlor. Lieutenant Novak, I ask you to please not use your imp on my guests. Of course, Miss Belle. That's one dangerous creature. They're all dangerous. Not at all. It only helps make sure people listen to what they're told. It's essential to have discipline in the military. We're not in the military. I was just giving him a little scare as a joke. I wasn't going to do anything. We're all friends here. Merrick shoved Faraday a bit roughly, knocking him off balance. Harry managed to catch his arm. Holly, don't make a scene. I don't think I could if I wanted to. What the hell kind of species is that? See, he's fine. So, you said all imps are dangerous. Of course. Any imp could destroy a man. Well, I assume that means yours is quite ferocious. Because if you had a demon, I'd have to do my duty by the law. I just see things. Novak gave a low, deep chuckle. I will be sure to beware then. Harry cleared his throat and tried to put his friend aside, out of the line of fire. We should probably finish getting the place sealed. I'll take my assistant with me. Harold gave an apologetic smile to Belle. Belle returned it with a warm glance of her own. It shone, genuine. Thank you, thank you, Dr. Ludikiel. Ludikiel? That Ludikiel? Isn't he under house arrest? Laughter interrupted from outside of the parlor. Whatever Novak had been about to say, he was soon miles away. His attention had been completely diverted. I'll show you, because I really mean anywhere I'm locked out of. Bam! Oh, right, it's Dea who had a weird ex. Right, a useless, terrible ex. I don't know why I thought it was Clarice. I tried to call her Maribel, chat. Dea, so good to see you. At the sound of Lieutenant Novak's voice, Deleuze froze and turned to walk right back out the way she came.
So, Mr. Flowers, need a light for your cigarette?
Oh no, you'd be amazed at what I can do with fire. Let's find a big room and I'll show you. Faraday smirked as they left. 2 for 2 with the ladies tonight, huh? Seems like she's not that into you, deckhand. She's just being playful. It's her way. Holly, let's go. Harold picked up his large container of salt and the pair left the room. I want to tie that guy to an anchor and throw him into a raging storm.
Me too!
As far as I could tell, it seemed like Deleuze would probably help you.
I would too! I'm very small, but I would do it.
So would most of my old crewmates. You know, the sailor ratio is all off here. Too much law. What if we called in some of them? Please don't get us into trouble here, Holly. You promised you weren't going to embarrass me. Sorry, I didn't know that it was embarrassing to stand up for yourself. You know what I mean. Don't get in Novak's face and make a big scene. Well, you might not have a spine, but I can still locate mine. An officer like that could actually hurt us. He could hurt you. Fine. I'll try not to rile him up. But if he starts it, I can't promise I won't fight back. Mom and the rest of the crew didn't raise me to bow to guys like that. Sorry, is he in here? Is this terrible man in here? He is! Navy guy, pushy. His imp can force you to do things. I have strong feelings about this man and his imp that can force you to do things, and the fact that he is so, shall we say, pushy with the ladies. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. There's a reason Dea divorced him. Good. There are very few things, chat, that I advocate, harm about. I wish to harm that man. I wish to harm that man very much. In increasingly ironic ways. They finished sealing the mansion. They were barely done before it was time for dinner.
Oh, you guys have been able to see my cursor the whole time, have you? I'm glad you can, because I like it. It's cute. I made it myself. That's my favorite shell.
Vance's carefully chosen seating took some shuffling to fix. He's the only good suspect picked besides the actual killer, as I said last night.
Oh yeah, you did mention he's a good pick.
I know that because he's such a big dumb jerk, he's probably a red herring. Like, he's a bad person to begin with. He's done wrong. I don't know if he's done murder precisely, but I wouldn't put it past him. He's definitely done a lot of wrong. Faraday disregarded the name cards as a suggestion and sat down next to Harold. Deleuze switched seats at the last moment, leaving Clarice next to Merrick. Lupine didn't even have a name card. But, in the end, the guests all took their seats at the table, and the smell of roasted garlic and juicy turkey already floating down the hall. Oh, I want to eat that. He's awful and does do attempted murder, but not the main murder. Yeah, I didn't think he was the main murder. I have been sort of mentally going through suspects, and, like, given what I know right now, the biggest red herrings are Goose and Novak. I haven't discounted them entirely, of course, but they are the biggest, like, the ones that scream, I'm a red herring, I'm here to be mean, and for the audience to... Novak screams, I'm here to be mean, and for the audience to hate me and want me to be the murderer, and Goose screams, yeah, I kill people. The game calls out Goose for being a red herring, actually. Yes, let's go! So I'm narrowing it down. Vance wheeled in a cart with a lovely ivy-patterned cloth. Atop it was a large tureen of soup. When she opened the lid, a fragrant cloud of steam billowed out of it, and she dished bowls.
I forget terrine is a type of physical dish. Because terrine and tautan are the same thing in my mind. Tautan is a food. Funny line. A ruse, goose. Amuse, bouche. I'd like to say it took me 2 attempts to get the correct killer. I understand. It's not that clear, unfortunately, so we'll see. We'll see.
When she opened the lid, a fragrant cloud of steam billowed out of it, and she dished bowls. Belle glanced to check that everyone had gotten their soup, but started shortly afterward, prompting the others to begin to eat as well. Clarice, I must apologize. I haven't been able to assist in your character workshops. It's quite all right. Thank you for understanding. The rewrites are so extensive. It's my responsibility to get you the best script possible, but the director says that he's assembled the finest cast of his career.
People are pretty excited for it, even out of town. I've heard my patrons talking about it, but the show's a hot topic in the shipyards, too. They said you might be touring with the show if it does well.
Yes, I always wanted to travel around the country, maybe even around the world. But it's so expensive and scary to do alone. Oh, just imagining that glamorous tour, meeting stars, getting fan letters ferried over the ocean, just to tell me they loved the show. It would be a dream come true to have so many people see me perform.
Lupine ran his spoon around in the bowl, swirling the soup. He made a small whirlpool in it, and the broth splashed over the side. He didn't bring the spoon to his lips. Fier, how much do I have to pay you for you to play the game tomorrow, too, so you can finish it in 2 nights?
Well, we can just play it next Wednesday.
Also, tomorrow I may not have stream at all. I have a lot to do tomorrow. In that, like I said, aquarium staff needs me to travel out to the middle of nowhere. They said something about light pollution being light pollution, and that it is imperative that the new moon hangs in the sky unobstructed. And something about something. I don't remember all of it. I wasn't paying good attention. Honestly, once they started talking about stars and metaphysical things and something to do with astrophysics and seas and things, and I just got tired. I really like stargazing. Yeah, it's fun. You're right. Anyway, they were very determined, and I don't know if it's even gonna rain tomorrow, but if it doesn't, then I'll be out there for ever, basically, while they do stuff. And then hopefully what they'll do is they'll go, these results are fascinating. They're unlike any we've ever seen before. Because if they do that, then I get a lot of shrimpies. But if they take me all the way out there, and then they look around, and then it's cloudy, they'll look up, and they'll go, again? And then they'll all argue about whose job it was to check the weather, and all of that stuff. And then someone will inevitably suggest we could try anyway. And then they'll try anyway, and get all despondent because there's cloud cover, and then I get shrimpies, because they're sad. I get a little treat. So that it cheers me up, because they get little treats to cheer them up.
I have a lot to go over this evening, but while we eat, we should try to keep it light. So I think we should ask Goose the question any person would have for someone in their profession. How do you get jobs? You mean jobs? Killing people? Yes. It's not as fun as you're hoping. I had a boss. He told me who to go after. That's it.
What do you mean you had a boss? What happened to him?
Same thing that happens to everyone eventually.
Retirement?
Essentially.
Belle! Honey, baby, sweetie! Retirement? Also, I just can't stop looking at the hole in Goose. There's a big hole through the middle of them. I want to drive out to the desert someday with a blanket, unpolluted light, and a million stars. Well, I will be out in the forest-likeness. Oh, I see we can't either.
So handsome and mysterious. Lupine cooed at Goose. Goose stared down at their soup bowl. Lieutenant Novak laughed and pointed at the hole in Goose's middle. Well, looking at you, he took a severance package. Goose took their time slurping up some soup before responding. You should have seen the other guy.
Eh? Goosey, what's that creep talking about?
I'm not all here. I'm partly somewhere else.
Where?
Sold my imp a while back. Like other folks, it left a hole. Mine's kinda hard to hide, though. Hell if I know where that imp is now. Vance called from across the table. Language! Sorry. I'm just saying if I knew where that part was, I would be there too. Lupine leaned back in his chair and let out a loud whine. I'm famished! Can't someone tell us a good story already? Anyone have weird family secrets? A saucy romance? A neat gender? Deleuze finished with her first glass of wine.
Ludicule transgender?
You saw the entire spectrum of human emotion go across Ludicule's face. Don't do the pun, Harold. I swear it's not as funny as you... Why, yes! You see, at its core, alchemy is the study of transmuting one's... Oh no, I think Mr. Lupine is looking for one of the more unfashionable genders. His throat tightened, and Harold squeaked out something so high and soft only Holly could hear it. I want to die. You can die next week.
Well, that's what you said last week.
Lupine pouted and crossed his arms. Nah, give me something else. Something really interesting, Mr. Seance Guy. You haven't said much. Tell me your story. The quiet ones always make me curious. Nothing much to tell. Don't be modest, Ludicule. It would be rude to leave our Fey guest hungry. Though maybe you're worried that he'd throw up your story. Lupine, are you saying you really haven't heard of Professor Ludicule and that whole scandal? Can't say I have.
He basically invented this whole imp craze?
It was a mistake, sure, but you can't be that hard on a guy for not knowing all the consequences of your research from the start.
I think they're lovely. Imps aren't a mistake.
No one is mad at Ludicule for that. Imps are useful, and we can get a good, long look at anyone's true self using them. And we can also tell when somebody has been lying and waiting to prey upon the innocent people around them.
Really? Novak? Really? Is that a true fact, sir?
Because I think I need to punch you clean in the face. Also, the face he's making, like, this man has nothing but, like... This man has nothing but smug smirk. This face, which is... Really? And get out of my way. Angry face.
Oh, he does get punched later. Good! Good! He should be punched square in the jaw. He seems like he would go on TV and he would say mean things and then somebody would punch him so he never goes in public again. And the person who punches him 100% deserves to do so. Oh boy! Oh no. But she's blind! They is so tiny! How's she gonna reach? Unless it's Clarice. Not damn, a good guess. Like I said, unless it's Clarice. There's so many people who could punch this man. I'd like to punch this man. Not Clarice either. Faraday. You'll see. I'll just keep guessing until I get it. It'll be great.
Especially when they slip up and expose their true nature in an event with thousands in attendance. Oh? And what was that?
Silverware clattered. Oops. Dropped my damn spoon.
Language! As I was saying, everyone used to think really highly of Ludicule. But the city wised up quick when we all saw... Oops! A hand smacked into a bowl, overturning it.
Dropped my fucking soup.
Language!
Faraday flashed Harold a smile. Harold could have kissed him. That was, if he hadn't suddenly felt very nauseous.
Well then, the gentleman with the very pale hair, you must have some stories. I'm just asking for a little appetizer. All right. So one time we were up in the Lake of Frost, coldest I've ever been. I felt like I had ice in my lungs. I'd 3 blankets on, yet the frost still got through. The boat was pitching around in the waves, rocking like it was about to flip over. We would have died in that water. It was freezing, but I still finished my research notes, and I wrote a letter.
So you did nothing.
It was an excellent letter. I still have it. Novak skewered something on his fork. It's real cute. The way little guys like that get excited about travel. He goes on one boat, and now he's got a lifetime of naval experience. It was one boat for multiple years, but go on. Novak ignored his interjection. Now me. He snorted, chewed twice, and swallowed. I got a whole fleet of ships to surrender. I read about that in the paper. I bet the paper didn't tell you how he did it. Vance barely raised the volume of her voice, but her stern tone carried. No politics at the table, sirs. No offense, but I think you all need to work on your storytelling. If we let them fight, it could make for a good story. Absolutely not. Okay, let me give you guys a good one. So I had this friend. She was the worst relationship ever, basically. She had a controlling, overprotective father and only, like, one friend. The friend was basically a nobody. She figured if she married him, she could get out of the house. And maybe her big fancy family name might help him out. You know, get him up a few ranks in the military. Novak gave a cough. It sounded like the growl of some large beast. I don't think that story is suitable for dinner either. Lupine's eyes flitted from Deleuze to Novak and back. That's such a shame for your friend. If she needs somebody to comfort her, I know just the guy. Deleuze trailed a finger around the rim of her wineglass. Well, he wouldn't happen to be extremely charming, would he? Oh, he is. Let's talk about something else. That's my favorite line in the whole game. I wonder who she's talking about. Yay. I agree. Vance stood up to dish the main course, a large roasted turkey, to all the guests. At Vance's command, a small razor-thin imp carved neat cuts off the carcass. Ooh, why don't we have Debbie tell us about the Fae? Vance kept her eyes firmly locked on her work. I may have been working from older source books, but it was a long time ago. Embellishment for the sake of the reader is normal. And an artist can find herself sorely limited by facts. Don't you worry, I don't care. I think it's funny. I can tell you've certainly increased the number of people who asked me if I've come from a cabbage field. And it's great to see the look on their face when I tell them. Not I! I was born from the little dewdrops on a spider's web, and I carried a little mushroom as an umbrella.
I feel like I remember getting that kind of story read to me.
Oh, they were real popular. But now only kids and old ladies like that stuff. I did start them quite a long time ago. What do you write it now? The carving imp went through a bone. It gave out a little cry, and Harold flinched at the sound. He wouldn't understand how frustrating it is to be limited by what readers expect of you. Faraday had spent enough time procrastinating on his papers to feel sympathetic. Yeah, writing isn't that easy, but I'm sure you've learned a lot since your early work. I mean, at least your stories are probably better than the first one Belle wrote. That boat one is terrible. Am I right? Tearing down one person's work to boost another reflects very poorly on your character.
Miss Vance, you needn't worry so. Even Miss Bell says that first one isn't very good. The director and Belle are having to rewrite it completely for the stage show.
Belle laughed good-naturedly and hit a palm down on the tabletop.
Yes, it takes some time to find your feet.
Belle, is your imp that purple pen you got? Because it's not. Aw, I was hoping. But everybody's got one, don't they? Like, of their own, right? Or at least most people do? Oh, if she's wearing it. Oh, okay, I see it. Ba-dong. Brooch.
Sweet.
I think it looks like a sea urchin. I think a damselfish would lure a human to pick that up.
Vance, my darling, please do put a little special thanks credit into the foreword if you use my mushroom umbrella idea, okay? I don't mind if you use it, but I want proper credit. Vance looked to be at the end of her rope, embarrassment and annoyance playing on her severe features.
It is in fact a sea urchin, constantly stinging, always. Ah! Is that why she is short of breath? I wonder why Vance is so annoyed. It's a mystery.
I'll be sure to keep that in mind. The somewhat adversarial chatter continued until the guests were all sitting with plates that were empty and stomachs that very much weren't. Vance stacked the plates onto the rolling cart with the ivy cloth, and a serving imp wheeled it away.
This has been more fun than I thought it would be. But if you will all follow me to the parlor, it's time for the main event.
Belle, honey, your first story was not very good. And from what I'm understanding, different than literally all the others. And Vance is frustrated and annoyed that people expect her to write fairy stories all the time, like children's fairy books all the time. I wonder, chat. I wonder if Miss Vance might, perhaps, be doing a little more than editing for Belle's stories. I wonder if she's doing a bit more than editing. Ah, yes, and the first thing was written under a pen name. We'll hold these thoughts. I love being able to hit Vance and Novak with hammers. Oh. It's not quite what you're thinking, but you're on the right track. Yeah, I suspect the game will drive me on to the most correct track as we go. But something's definitely going on here. Or potentially it is the other way around, where Vance wrote the first story under a pen name. And in order to get better at writing the stories, somehow Belle got involved in that. And then she revealed who she was and took all of the credit. Which would be an excellent murder motive, also.
The guests all settled back into the parlor. Belle took a slow, contemplative sip of her sherry. She looked over at Harold, smiling coolly. Harold's nerves had been shot all night, but Faraday could see him beginning to ease up. Harold had always been the sort of person to comply with what was desired of him. His ruin had been quite a shock to all, and he'd never come close to recovering. Nowadays, people wanted to conveniently forget that Ludikiel existed. They wanted his unsightly tale to be over. How do you appease the people around you when they'd all, politely, rather you did not exist anymore? There was a lurking, obvious answer, but tonight there was another, much more agreeable way to please the people around him. And a bit of the old Harold was in his eye again. The lecturer, whose pompous sense of self-worth was only outstripped by a genuine awe of those around him. A man with boundless energy for showcasing the things he loved. Sometimes it had been a bit much. It was hard to keep up with him. For Faraday, Harold's continued assertions in the importance of every little thing may have been fatiguing, but in those bygone days, Harold would look over at Faraday, and Faraday would remember that there was someone Harold adored most of all. Faraday took a sip of his untouched wine. It tasted like vinegar, but his cheeks felt warm, and he hoped the glass would hide them. He did his best to enjoy the memory, and to not think about the years that came afterward.
I brought Dr. Ludikiel here for a chance to speak to my good friend Canterbury. I have a lot I want to say to her, but I want to know one thing more than anything. Who killed her? I'm going to learn the murderer's name, straight from the ghost of my friend herself.
Oh, that's a very different face she's wearing.
My goodness, Miss Belle. Such a gruesome thing to discuss. Wasn't she burned up? What a horrible way to die. This is the only way I'll be getting any valuable information or closure. I know the police in this city.
Understandable conclusion. They never solved my father's murder either. Not exactly competent.
Oh, Duluth, honey.
Did Novak murder your father? Or did you? Because, like, if you did, fair game, sweetie. With what you've described, you get it.
Belle nodded.
Dr. Ludikiel, I give you the floor.
Thank you, Miss Belle. Now, I will explain how... I must ask, isn't something like this dangerous? That makes me want to try it even more. If I'm nervous, can I hold your hand, Mr. Military Man?
Hey there! Hold my hand!
Myers shook her head and clasped her hands.
I don't want to be haunted.
Harold cleared his throat, and when he spoke, it was with the same warm tone he'd once used to reassure failing students. My dear, I assure you, every person in this room is under my protection. Faraday found it easy to slip back into his role as assistant professor. He could almost pretend that they were going back to their office afterward. Believe me, it's completely safe. I'll need to have you all hold hands. Everything was fine and back to normal. There he was, Dr. Harold Ludikiel, alchemist and professor of demonology. The energy of summoning something like this needs at least 2 people to dilute the strength. And then old Harry was spouting the most insane bullshit imaginable. The years catching up and descending into him like a collapsing roof. We need to focus our thoughts on the people who have died. Miss Belle and anyone else who knew the victim should try to think specifically of her. Once we've all linked hands, imagine Canterbury as vividly as possible. Harold stood up to put out his hands. Faraday took one, and, even if reluctantly, the whole party linked hands. Lupine gave Delusa's hand an extra squeeze, and she laughed. Now, we will go around counterclockwise. I want you each to say her name one at a time. I'll start. Gareth Canterbury. Gareth Canterbury. Gareth Canterbury.
Gareth Canterbury. Gareth Canterbury.
Gareth Canterbury.
Gareth Canterbury. Ah! What happened?
The light went out.
Please don't let go of my hand.
Who just bumped me? A cacophony of boots, heels, and shoes sounded against the floorboards. Get the hell off of me! You're the one clinging to my arm! One heavy set of feet seemed to stomp all about the room.
Is this supposed to happen?
No, I mean, yes. Yes, of course. This is all part of the process. Remain
Well, if you're all letting go, I'm getting a candle.
Please don't. I've got you, Harry. There was more fumbling. The sounds of shifting footsteps. Someone bumped against the furniture. And finally... Oh yeah, you can just do that. Things I can do with fire. The flick of a light. The dim orange flame waved for a moment, suspended above Lupine's extended pinky. He made his way back over to the light switch and switched it on.
Oh hey, this place is wired for electricity.
Both Harold and Novak were clinging to Faraday. He shrugged them off. Deleuze had a suspicious grin on her face. Vance was hyperventilating with panic, and Lupine quickly moved to help her to a chair. Goose stood exactly where they'd been before, face characteristically blank. They adjusted their hat. Myers was laughing to herself. Harold suspected that it was more nervous than she'd like to let on. Despite everything, Harold and Faraday were still in the same position, holding hands, in what could no longer be called a circle. The guests looked around, all of them disoriented.
Is everything okay?
Well, actually, I hate to be a bother, but we have to finish performing this ritual or else I...
Oh no! The demon shark tooth is gone!
What? Most of the guests circled around the curio case, leaving Harold and Faraday still standing with their hands clasped. Good heavens! Mr. Ludicchio, didn't you say this place was sealed? It is! And I really have to insist that we finish the...
I can't believe it. Such amazing luck.
There had been a trace of tiredness about Belle for most of the evening, but now she seemed invigorated, the picture of health. She a fae? I mean, her ears are covered up under her hair. Belle, are you secretly a fae?
You know, Fiera, I realized something. Deezer has those collab playlists. We should make one together. Yes. She's not? Ah, fair enough. Pretty sure she isn't. I am throwing shenanigans at the wall. I was just like, oh, this makes an excellent story, and she's in it. Of course, she, like, fae eat stories, so, like, you know.
Luck? What the hell are you talking about? Oh, so lacking in imagination. Belle is a mystery writer. And now she has herself a mystery. But I have got to go get my notes.
With this building completely sealed up, we can solve this little crime right here and right now.
This should be fun.
But what about... Oh, you finish up. I'll be right back. I haven't felt this wonderful for weeks.
Belle moved out of the room, muttering excitedly to herself. Actually, I'm not feeling so great. I need a minute to freshen up.
I should do a check around. What if someone's hiding out somewhere? I can't solve the mystery if we don't have all the clues.
There is a criminal on the loose. No way you're going around this place without someone to protect you.
Oh, how horrifying. Someone might take something from my curio cabinet. Dea!
This is no way to commune with the voices of the dead. He tried to get someone else's attention. We're running out of time to find the killer. Oh. Finally, someone is listening to me. Please retrieve Belle before we lose the, mental resonance to... What if that person who left the threat did get in? I need to warn Belle. She hustled out of the room. Harold peeled over toward Myers, who was peering toward the door. Please, Miss Myers. We can finish this much faster with just a few more people in the chain.
I'm so sorry. But if she's gone to get them, I really, really want to see Miss Bell's notes. I'll be right back, I promise. And I never wanted to see a ghost anyway!
Harold looked around. Well, I'm certainly impressed. Is anyone else? Who's there? Lupine hopped from behind a chair. Gotcha! And there he goes too. Faraday gave a long sigh. He looked at the empty room and then at Harold's hands. On the bright side, I don't think they're going to notice you can't summon ghosts. I brought 3 stray imps from home. Had a whole light show prepared. I'd almost finished unsealing their vessel. It was going to look astounding. But now, let's just reinforce the seal and be done with it. Man, it's really just sealing and unsealing with you, huh? What else am I good for? That cheery little line killed the conversation dead. The pair slowly finished their work. I sort of forgot how stressful it is to be around so many people. Yes, I'm a bit out of practice. We'll get through the night, and at least we know neither of us stole the thing. I suppose that's true. Of course it is! You haven't let go of my hand since you took it. You know, maybe having invited a thief to their party will make me look better. You know, by comparison. Oof, Harry. You are really depressing sometimes. If I'm so depressing, why don't you walk away with the others? Well, I would, but if leaving you once caused so much fuss, then I'd hate to see... A scream rang out. Oh God, what now? As they stepped from the parlor, Faraday and Harold could smell a putrid, singed odor. There was more than one scream, and they were able to follow the sound down in the hall. They followed it further, descending to the boiler room. As the guests gathered at the source of the noise, they were all confronted by an inconsolable Vance. In the boiler room, the once stern woman was doubled over, next to a charred body laying in the furnace. Clarice burst straight into tears, and Holly found himself compelled to move over to touch her arm gently. He turned them both to look away from the gruesome scene. Deleuze held her nose, jaw set in a tight grimace. Goose offered her their handkerchief, and she accepted it with a grim nod, holding it to her face. Faraday shot Lupine a nervous look. But it seemed that this twist in the plot was not to his taste. Novat looked towards Deleuze. Harold alone continued to stare at the body. From far away, it simply looked like an unidentifiable charred corpse. But up close, Harold could recognize the musculature of a likely feminine form, large drops of metal that were once buttons arranged along the torso in a V shape, and the silhouette of a brow and nose he had seen so often in the papers. There was just enough left of her to identify. Their host, Bernadette Bell, was dead. The flame that burns twice as bright is such a good name for this achievement. Ah! Alright, we hydrate as chat demands. Truth be told, I'm glad I don't have to voice Bernadette for a little while, because getting that kind of raspy voice actually makes your throat a little bit raspy. Alright. And a big stretch. Whew. And we'll do crunches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. I am clawing at the bars of my enclosure. We'll remember to save. Congratulations, you made it halfway or a third of the way. Let's go! We can probably clean this up next stream if I don't get distracted yapping again. But we are going to leave it here because this is where a serialized novel would leave off, and I think that's funny. I also want to punch Novak a lot. Like, really hard. Like, so hard that his nose breaks and goes to the other side of his face. I cannot communicate enough how much I don't like Novak. I looked at him and went, I hate that man. And then chat was like, boo, hiss, I hate that man. And I was like, chat must know something I don't. Good, you should not like him. Excellent. Then he opened his mouth and behaved in a way that makes me think that if he were on the internet in the modern day, he would be complaining about, Stacy's. Anyway. I think yeah. Anyway, it is now closing time, and we hope you enjoyed your visit to the octopus enclosure. Oopsie doodle. We saved here. We'll come back to this next week. It'll be a great time. I'm trying very hard to do this blind. Anything that anyone tells me about this game from here on out, I'll end up using, and I will accidentally spoil myself because I know me. In that, if you tell me anything that helps me connect any of the dots that we have, boy howdy, will I connect dots. I guess, sorry that I'm not finished it yet. Please be careful. Oh, I know where we can go. It's today. It's not Friday at all. Oh, yeah, I assumed that there's a twist here. I suspect I'll be able to figure it out just by thinking about it. I'm here for the silly. I'm here for the silly time. Anyway, we're gonna go see some actual ghosts in Phasmophobia. Go see Crazy Nature Kitty. She's streaming with Wolfie Luke tonight. Alright. That is it for tonight, everybody. I will see you all tomorrow. But I will be late because it's Guild Wars 2, though, tomorrow when I finally do start. Anyway, thanks for playing along with me, everybody.